My name is Merlin Herman, and this is my Learning Disabilities Project for Psychological Foundations of Learning GE 502. My Learning Disabilities Project is on Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, ADHD. What is Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder? It is a neuropsychiatric condition affecting preschoolers, children, adolescents, and adults around the world, characterized by a pattern of diminished sustained attention and increased impulsivity or hyperactivity. It is a condition in which a person has trouble paying attention and focusing on tasks, tends to act without thinking, and has trouble sitting still. ADHD was formerly called ADD or Attention Deficit Disorder. The exact cause is unclear but tends to run in families. ADHD affects up to 5 to 8% of school age children, with 60 to 85% of those diagnosed as children continuing to meet criteria for the disorder in adolescence. They often have significant impairment in academic functioning as well as social and interpersonal situations. It is frequently associated with comorbid disorders, including learning disorders, anxiety disorders, mood disorders, and disruptive behavior disorders. The core symptoms of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder are inattention, hyperactivity, and impulsivity. The first symptom is inattention, which is when a child is easily distracted and has a hard time focusing on any one task. Hyperactivity, the child may squirm, fidget, or run around at the wrong times. Teens often feel restless and fidgety, and they aren't able to enjoy reading or other quiet activities. And impulsivity, this is when the child may talk or laugh too loud or become angrier than the situation calls for. Children may not be able to wait for their turn or to share, making it hard for them to play with other children. Teens may make quick decisions that have a long term impact on their lives. They may spend too much money or change jobs often, for example. A child's academic success is often dependent on his or her ability to attend to tasks and teacher and classroom expectations with minimal distraction. Such skills enable a student to acquire necessary information, complete assignments, and participate in classroom activity and discussions. When a child exhibits behavior associated with ADHD, consequences may include difficulties with academics and with forming relationships with his or her peers if appropriate instructional methodologies and interventions are not implemented. More boys than girls are also diagnosed with ADHD, and they are often diagnosed with when a child is between 6 and 12 years old. What are the child's personal needs due to this learning disability, and how the learning disability affects the child's family life? Some of the personal needs that the child may have are the fact that the parents should be taking care of themselves. Parents caring for their own physical and mental health is an important part of helping a child with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. It will help the parent have the energy they need to take care of the child. Also, the child needs help with building self-esteem by encouraging a sense of belonging, confidence in learning, and an awareness of their own contributions. Helping the child get the most out of school by promoting school success will help the child academically, socially, and developmentally. Also, helping the child get things done requires patience, persistence, and creative thinking, which can help the child learn skills and accomplish tasks at home and at school. Learning disabilities can be hard on a family. Uh, Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder impacts not only the child, but also parents and siblings, causing disturbances to family and marital functioning. One parent, often the mother, may recognize and face the problem sooner or more readily than the other. Misunderstanding and conflict can result. Brothers and sisters often resent the amount of attention given to a child with ADHD and may proclaim knowingly that the child is spoiled and perfectly capable. Grandparents tend to blame the parents for not doing enough, not being disciplined enough, organized enough, or not giving enough direct help to the child. Neighbors can be intolerant if the child is very hyperactive or has low frustration tolerance and tends to explode or cry at each hurdle. On a daily basis, children with ADHD typically raise the irritant factor in family life. They tend to leave everyone on edge because their behavior is unpredictable, erratic, inconsistent, and full of ups and downs. ADHD in the classroom. ADHD can make it harder to finish schoolwork and get along with the teacher and other students. Children with ADHD, they tend to start assignments but don't complete them. Uh, some examples of these are the child working independently in class but gets irritated by noise another child may be making. They start off participating in a group project but then drift off and stop contributing. And also, the child goes to look something up in a book and just keeps reading instead of going back to their work. This issue is that children with ADHD can be easily distracted and get derailed in the middle of assignments. Children with ADHD also are always talking. They interrupt with questions or comments during instructional time. They irritate other children by talking during quiet work time and also have trouble getting to the point when they're trying to answer a question. The issue that the child may have with this is often talking excessively and blurting out their thoughts. Children with ADHD also do not work well in groups. Um, the child may be argumentative and always have to have the last word. The child won't let other children make a presentation and insist on being the one to talk. And the child calls other children stupid and puts down their ideas. The issue present here is that children with ADHD can get frustrated when they don't get what they want, and they might have trouble filtering what they say and understanding how they come across to others. Also, children with ADHD, they appear to be spacing out during lessons. The child asks what even when he or she seems to have been listening. They don't remember the teacher's directions, and the child doesn't know what items they're supposed to have for a project. The issue present here is that children with ADHD often have trouble focusing and paying attention. Um, Children with ADHD, they often have difficulty adjusting to the structured environment of a classroom, determining what is important, and focusing on their assigned work. They are easily distracted by other children or by nearby activities in the classroom. Um, so there are accommodations that reduce these distractions and help them to stay on task and learn. Um, Special classroom seating arrangements. For example, if they sit near the teacher, it provides opportunities for the teacher to monitor and reinforce the child's on-task behavior. If they sit near a student role model, it provides opportunity for the child to work cooperatively and to learn from their peers in the class. Also, providing low distraction work areas for quiet study time and test taking. Reducing the length of homework assignments by breaking down assignments into smaller, less complex tasks. allowing the child extra time on tests. Tests that are timed may not allow children with ADHD to demonstrate what they truly know due to their potential preoccupation with elapsed time. Elimination of test anxiety and providing them with other opportunities, methods, or test formats to demonstrate their knowledge. Simplifying instructions about assignments. The simpler the expectations communicated to an ADHD student, the more likely it is that he or she will comprehend and complete them in a timely and productive manner. Using behavioral management techniques in the classroom by verbally reinforcing of appropriate behavior through praise given to a student when they begin and complete an activity or exhibit a particular desired behavior. Computer-aided instructions also make instruction more visual and allow the student to participate actively. Accommodations made in the classroom. Students with ADHD learn best with a carefully structured academic lesson, one where the teacher explains what he or she wants the children to learn and the current lesson and places these skills and knowledge in the context of the previous lessons. The teacher also provides a preview of the expectation about what the students will learn and how they should behave during the lesson. Uh, these accommodations can be made by providing an advanced organizer, preparation of the day's lesson by summarizing the order of various activities planned by reviewing the previous lesson, followed by new information. Reviewing previous lesson plans by reviewing information of previous lessons and reviewing several problems before moving on to the next lesson. Setting learning and behavioral expectations by stating what the students are expected to learn during the lesson and describing how the students are expected to behave during the lesson. You can state needed materials by identifying all materials that the children will need during the lesson rather than leaving them to figure it out on their own, what materials are required. Explain additional resources by telling the students how to obtain help in mastering the lesson. The future and transition services that are available for students with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Children with ADHD do not simply outgrow their symptoms when they reach adolescence. Although the absolute severity of ADHD symptoms often declines with age, between 70 to 80% of children with ADHD continue to show problems with attention and impulsivity relative to their age mates. Difficulties in a number of other areas are not uncommon. As many as have exhibited significant behavior problems, defiance, and antisocial acts such as fighting, stealing, and vandalism. They are more likely to have been held back in school, to have been suspended from school, and to drop out. On a positive note, approximately a third of children with ADHD appear to be relatively well adjusted and symptom free as an adult. Higher levels of intellectual functioning and other school performance are associated with better outcomes. The absence of severe behavior and conduct problems during childhood, particularly before age 10, is associated with better adult outcome. Children with ADHD who manage to get along well with their peers are likely to have better adjustments as adults. It is the behavioral, social, and academic difficulties that children with ADHD are at increased risk for that for what may be most clearly linked to negative adult outcome. Some transition service that may be necessary. Transitioning planning is meant to help teenagers figure out what they want to do after high school and what they need to do during the school year so they can meet long-term goals. The key is to making high school relevant for the team's future. Instruction. Educational instruction that will be provided to the student to build the skills necessary to reach post-secondary goals. This can include general or special education courses to meet academic requirements, advanced placement courses, career and technical education, or remedial services. Related services, services needed for students to access integrated work, education, and living environments. Uh, These may include occupational and physical therapy, speech therapy, rehabilitative counseling services, traveling training, and other professional supports. Community experiences, a variety of activities and experiences that are provided outside the school building. These might include community resources utilized as part of the student school program, whether during school hours or after school hours, to achieve the stated outcomes of community integration. For example, volunteering, residential tours, college tours, and recreation and leisure activities. Development of employment and other post-school adult living activities. This area focuses on the development of work-related behaviors, job seeking and keeping skills, career exploration, and actual employment, such as career planning, job shadowing, job training, or supported employment. Acquisition of daily living skills. Daily living skills are the skills involved in caring for oneself on a daily basis. These skills are an important component of independent living and include such activities as dressing, grooming, hygiene, self-care skills, household chores, shopping, and managing finances. How completely the student has mastered daily living skills may ultimately determine the type of living environment selected as most appropriate. Lastly, functional vocational assessment, an additional assessment process if the regular vocational assessment has not provided enough information to make a vocational program decision. Additional assessment activities such as situational assessments, community-based assessments, assistive technology evaluation, or aptitude tests can be performed to get more information about the student's needs, preferences, and interests. This concludes my learning disability project on attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD.